Hi and welcome to another episode of the Getting Things Done podcast from Vital Learning. I am Morten and I'm here as always with my good friend and colleague Lars Henriksen. Goeiedag, Lars.
Hello, Mr. Røvik. Good to see you as always. And as always, looking forward to recording another episode with you for all the GTDers and GTD curious listeners out there. We always start off by reminding you of the purpose of this podcast, which is to help you learn GTD or become even better GTDers. So we hope that today's episode supports you in that. If you are new to GTD, we recommend you go back and listen to episodes 1 through 6 to get an introduction to GTD and the basics of the 5 steps. And today's episode is number 74. And the topic of today is OKR and GTD.
Yes. Objectives and key results, and getting things done. What is the intersection between those? I've had the great privilege of interviewing a Norwegian guy called Jørn Arild Andenæs, who is objectives and key results guru here. He's the lead in the Oslo GTD gathering, which is a meetup.com group here in Norway, and he has dabbled with GTD for a long time and also the OKR, so he's the perfect person to talk about this. But before we go there, I just want to ask you, do you know where goeiedag come from?
No? Are we Dutch, maybe?
Yes, we are Dutch. So thanks for our listener who sent that to us as an audio file, so I can try and perfect this. So I hope that I don't make a fool out of myself with goeiedag. It's okay.
Well, maybe you actually do. I guess you don't really know what you said. You could be saying something completely different.
I could, but I trust this person. So
really looking forward to this episode and learning more about the intersection between the two topics. Really looking forward.
Me too. So without further ado, let's hear the interview with Jørn Arild.
And now, our special guest.
Hi and welcome, Jørn Arild. I'm very pleased to have you in our podcast. As listeners have heard in the introduction, we have had a listener question about OKR and GTD and the intersection between the two. And trying to be semi-intelligent about something means that you can't fake it. You have to have some real knowledge. And we could not fake understanding the OKR principles and idea. So we decided to get an expert. And that's why you are here.
Thank you.
So, Jørn Arild, could you please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in your everyday work?
Yes, my name is Jørn Arild Andenæs. I'm living in Asker, outside Oslo. Mm-hmm. I'm 44 years old, have 2 kids, 6 and 8, and a wife. And I'm working as manager in GEODATA. So, and have been using GTD for 10 years, and also been using OKR for the last 4 years.
Okay, good. Can I just ask you out of curiosity, GeoData or GeoData, what kind of company is that? What are you doing there? What are you producing?
Yes, so GeoData, we work with GIS applications, geographical information systems. Mm-hmm. So Esri, it's an American company that created a product called ArcGIS, which we deliver in Norway and also in Denmark, actually. Okay. We have a sister company in Denmark called GeoInfo. Mm-hmm. So what we do in Norway is that we deliver this product and also do a lot of projects around this product. And mm-hmm. my department is a department of developers, which do bespoke work on it and create web applications with graphical information, very often maps.
Okay, so if I've stumbled upon one of your maps or the end product, so what you do, how would I know that it is you? Maybe I would not know, but how would I recognize this as not just a standard Google map?
You will probably somewhere in the application see our name, but we mainly deliver in the Norwegian market. So the most of the projects we do are not public, but some are public. And the most known is something called E-marka in Norway,
Yes.
where you could, if you're going to go cross-country skiing outside Oslo and will see the condition on the tracks, you can do it in this app.
Cool, because I do have that app. So cool. So that's what you do, and let's move on to OKR. And if I understand correctly, that's objectives and key results. So could you just give us a high-level overview first of what is this, and what's the benefit of using OKR as a method?
Yes, so OKRs is a framework for working with goals and achieving goals, where we divide between the objective and the key results. So the objective is the goal itself. It's something we want to do or want to achieve. And the key result is the way that we measure that we actually are working towards these goals. And yes, and we also, what's important is that you actually measure this quite often to see that you actually are achieving the goals. So in OKRs, we talk about periods. So one OKR period is, the most common is 3 months. So after 3 months, you should measure if you actually are working towards your goals. And then also take a look at your goals and see if you should do any change with them, or you should continue with the same things.
Okay, so if I'm going to I'm reminded now of the natural planning model, where you define the goal as something like you can have a desired outcome for something, and then the key results are then how am I ensuring I will meet my target at the end. So it's a calibration tool, if I understand right, where you will calibrate your targets or results, key results, or set me straight. Set me straight.
You could calibrate the whole goal itself as well. So it depends a bit, because in OKRs you set actually goals for all levels in a company, and you could also use it for your personal goals. So in OKRs you set a goal for the company, what it should achieve for the next 3 months, or but also you should take these goals and create goals for your own department, and maybe a sub-department, and maybe a sub-team. And it's important that you're able to create a red line between these goals, so you could
coherence, yes,
and see it all the way down. And it's quite common also to set personal goals as OKRs in companies, but not all companies do that. So in our company, in my department, we set personal goals as well as OKRs, but not all departments do that. And what we also says in OKRs is that the goals should not all come top down. Actually, 60% of the goals should go from the bottom and up.
And so, what do you mean with that?
It means that when I work with my department and create goals for the next period, we will look at the goals for our head department, also the department above us, and see what goals they have. But most important, we'll try to make goals that we want to achieve. So, and it says that 60% of the goals should come from ourselves, and we should only take 40% from the department.
So it's only 40% shit running downhill, and then 40% splashes up.
Yes.
So 60%, I mean, yeah, okay.
Yes, that's true. And the idea is behind this that then you will, the people will get feel that they own the goals themselves, and very often it's a connection between the goals. And when you create goals, you should be inspired by other goals in companies. So it's also very important that it's transparent, that all departments should see the goals to other departments and things like that.
Okay. So I see, by the way, that you have now put yourself out of frame again.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Just for the viewers in the YouTube channels, that's good. Yeah. But we are not, so we are not going to cut. We are not about perfectionism. We are about being human here. So, if you're going to give me, if I was a company owner or a person working in a department in a company, what would be the reasons why we would at all consider this? What's the key results of starting with objectives and key results?
Yes, what's quite common in many companies is that once a year you set the goal for the next year.
Yeah,
and you also maybe ask your employees in a meeting that you have once a year, which goals do you have for this year, and how can you help us? How will you help us meet the company's goals? And then you have this meeting, and you create a document or something for that. And a year after, you ask, you look at this again and say,
how did it go?
Goals? How did it go? And very often, you at least from the employees, you get the answer, oh, sorry, I don't remember the goals. I think we need to find the document again. But when you do this, in this way, you will look at the goals quite often, and you also own your goals yourself, because you will always be a part of the team that creates the goals, because 60% of the goals should go from bottom up.
So I'm just reminded of another 3-letter abbreviation that's something that's very common, at least in the bigger companies in Norway. It's called KPIs, key performance indicators.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say about the relationships between OKR and KPIs?
Yes, I guess it's probably different. Many people that have different opinions on this, but my opinion is that KPIs, that's more like health indicators of how the company is going. But OKRs is working, when you use OKRs, you work against some goals that you have set for a period. So if you want to go into a new market, something that you will change in a company, then you use the goal setting OKRs. But the KPIs, you probably need as well as health indicators. Okay.
Yeah. If I understand correctly, there are different ways of looking at KPIs as well. So, KPIs can be personal as well. So what's your key performance indicators? If you are doing a good job, that's why I'm thinking about that. When you get personal, it's a way to look at what like the part of the OKR. I have something I need to achieve that I can measure as well.
Yes. You should use the OKRs for something that you will change or something that you do different.
Okay. So it's if I'm going to try just there's a way to facilitate change?
Yes.
A method for facilitating change?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a good, just to have a tagline. Okay, good. GEODATA started this back in 2019, if I understand correctly. And you've been working with this persistently since 2019, or so we are on your year 3 now, or have you been off and on? Or?
We have been using it all the time. Actually, I started before that. So what happened was that when I started in GeoData in 2018, I have just read this book, Measure What Matters, which it's about how Google started using OKRs. And I was really inspired by that. And
yes.
GeoData was, when I started, a coincidence as well, that they were looking at a new way to work with goals. And this was
and
a
you
great
raised
fit.
your hand. Hey, I read a book.
Yes, I raised my hand and said I read a book. Actually, when I was introduced to this book, a guy, Lucas in Shifter, told me that I had a coffee with him, and he said, OKRs, you need to read about that. You that are so interested in GTD, because that's GTD for companies. He told me.
Okay.
And
do you agree with him in that?
I'm not sure if I agree, but there was a good sales line, at least for me getting to read it.
Yeah.
And I also think it was really good. So when I started from day one in my department with it. So in my department, we started with OKRs in September 2018. And after a while, the whole company started to use it. So,
okay.
So
what convinced the leadership to, go for this?
It's probably many different reasons, but they were looking at something else actually called beyond budgeting, and it was some similarities with the OKRs there. And but we found that OKRs was quite easy actually to implement, or easy to understand at least. And they saw that I had started with it, and then some other departments heard about it, and they started with it as well. And then the manager at that time, he actually left GeoData now, but he was a fan of this as well. So he started it with at the top management. They started with it, but not all other departments was forced to use it. But after a while, we said that no, everybody should use it. But we have we're always working on it and trying to do it better. And so we started actually for the whole company with quarterly periods, and then it went to 30 hours. It's like 4 months instead.
Yeah.
But actually now at the top level, they will start at half year instead. So I think that's a better fit. Me myself think that it's a better fit with shorter periods. So.
Yeah, it's especially if you want to make sure that you are making meaningful progress towards something. You should see if you're hitting your targets, you're getting your key results. And if I understand correctly about the key results, how do you measure? How do you make a good, key result that you can measure? Can you give me an example of that, so we are making it a little tangible for people?
Yes. So what we say is also that the key result, we have actually two types of key result. One is that you say that yes or no, actually, if you achieve it or not. and the other ones is sorry, I'm trying to find something here. The other ones is like you could grade it from 0 to 1 or from 0 to 100% if you have achieved it. So someone says it's not a key result unless it has a number. So it should be a number actually tells
quantified. Yeah.
Yes, quantified. But that very often it could also be used as more like a milestone, where you could tell you get 1 point because actually after a period of time, the OKR period, you should actually grade the whole period and the whole goals, and then use actually the key results to grade the goals to see if you have met them or not. And if you have 100%, achieved 100% of your goals, then the OKRs, in OKRs, that means that you haven't actually had ambitious enough goals. So you should try to achieve 60-70%. That's good if you achieve that. But
okay, so you set your goals high enough so they are achievable, but you will be happy with 60% of the achieved goals. If you, it's like David Allen would say something like, if you haven't, fallen off the horse, maybe you're not running fast enough.
Yes. But as I said, some goals are more like you have done it or not. So.
Yeah, so it's either done or not done. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to ask you now for and something I have not made you aware of. I'm going to ask you, but we are going to touch upon more about GTD and the intersection with OKR, but for those who are interested in learning more about the OKRs, and I'm sure Wikipedia will give you a brief overview, at least it does in the Norwegian Wikipedia. But the name of the book that you read back then, do you have that available so that we can, if you don't remember the name now, we can at least link to it somewhere in the show notes?
Yes, I have it. So it's Measure What Matters, written by John Doerr.
Measure What Matters. And John Doerr?
Yes, D-O-E-R-R.
D-O-E-R-R?
Yeah. Yes,
yeah.
correct.
Doerr. Okay, good. We will make a link to that in the show notes for those who are listening so that you can find it again. Good. So that's OKR, and we both know GTD. That's how we know each other. We got bumped into each other, and you are among being a guy who wants to get better at getting things done. You are also the leader of the work group of the Oslo GTD gathering, which is the largest GTD gathering in the world, actually. Yeah, it's the biggest meetup.com group, at least. With when you're nearing 1,000 members soon, or
yes,
we've been
soon 1,000 members. So
yeah.
probably celebrate that later this year, I hope.
Oh, yeah. Wow, cool. So Oslo GTD gathering at meetup.com is a good resource to know more about what the getting things done. And this is a free to attend, free to learn, pro bono measure. We are there, all of us. I'm also a member of this group. I'm Jørn Arild's subjective. I'm his. I'll do what he tell me, but this we are there to learn, all of us. So.
Yes, many thanks for this marketing.
Yeah. Well, if we can get a couple of new members, good for that, and we can before end of this year will be 1,000. That would be cool. So and there is it's very easy to get out of the emailing list. You can become a member, create an account, and you can then just leave if you don't find it has any value for you.
Yes.
But now, intersection between GTD, getting things done, and objectives and key results. Where do they intersect, and how can you use it as a GTD? Or
Yes, so I think it intersects actually different places. So for myself, I have actually two different places or two different sets of OKRs. So I have my personal OKRs that I own, and my department in GEODATA has OKRs, and actually the department above my department, where I also I'm a part of the management, also have some OKRs. So if we start with my personal OKRs, they are very related to the horizons of focus that we use in GTD. And in this, we have this level 4, which we call the goals. And for me, I have created goals, both have some goals that are actually maybe for the next 10 years or something that I have written myself. And I have some goals for the next 2 years. These goals for the next 2 years, that's actually my objectives in the OKR model. So I have my own system. I'm using OneNote to this part of my system. I've written these goals for the next 2 years, and then I have transformed this into my OKRs, where I have created some key results for these goals, and also a list of activities that I need to do to actually meet these goals. But these goals or these key results is in my system. That's actually the projects.
Okay.
So I have some examples actually. So in my personal life, I have some personal goals. I have some goals that for my career and things like that, and health goals. But I also have some goals related to my friends. So one of my goals for the next 2 years is that I should meet my friends quite often. And actually to achieve that, I have created some OKRs for it. So the key results then for the next period, which is the next 3 months, is that I should invite 2 times. I should invite some of my friends to dinner at home. And I also should another key result is that I should have a trip to my cabin with some of my friends. So this is actually projects. To have this trip to the cabin is a project, and to have these dinners with my friends. So in the OKRs, it's I will actually tick off if I have done it or not, and after the period, I will see if I have achieved the goals or not.
Okay, so to interpret this, just to give it a little context, this put it into context of getting things done, is that David Allen has left us with very little information of what he thinks about goals. It is just a parking lot for goals, and the goals is from 12 to 24 months is what he gives us. But it is as getting things done is not religion. You can bend the rules. You can do whatever you want with that. So that the OKR fits perfectly in there. and it is kind of maybe part of what we are missing as goals, because we have projects 12 to 24 months, and the goals are, what do I want to achieve that is not started yet, but I will start. So it feels a little, when you describe it, like a little missing link in this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's say that I wanted to let's say I want to finish a master's degree in something that could be a goal. And then I will create projects to make sure that or projects with next actions to fulfill my OKRs, and then the objective will be, did I finish, and all the key results will be, did I finish this exam, did I read what I decided to do. It's a way to structure long-term working towards a goal that it might be feel very far away for some people.
Yes, absolutely. So when you create these periods of 3 months, then you actually need it. It gets much nearer to you, and you actually see that, you need to do something now to actually achieve this. It's an
anti-procrastination tool as well, because you kind of like procrastinate things. It's important, but it's like 3 months away, and I will do that when it happens, and then you are then put your feet to the fire maybe, and then to work very, very hard to achieve that. Good. So, okay, and now it fits better in my brain. I have a better understanding. So. Anything to add on the intersection? I think I have an overview. You were on the words to say something when I kind of cut you off, I think.
So this is kind of the way it's integrate to my personal horizontal focus and things like that. But the other way, actually, it integrates with the OKRs of the company, because it's that. The initiatives, actually, when we have in the OKRs, we have the objectives, the key results, and we have the activities / initiatives that you should do to actually get there. So the key result is the way you measure it, but you need to do something. And in my department, for instance, we have, we could have a goal that we should get some knowledge about Azure, something. Maybe some guys should get some certifications, and we could have a goal that 4 guys should get this. So the goal is that 4 guys should get it. And as a manager, what do I need to do then? And that's part of the initiatives. I need to actually talk to someone, try to motivate them for doing this. So then the initiatives will be my projects, not the key results.
That's up. Exactly.
So yes, and that could be on different level in the company. The initiatives, I could own an initiative on my head department or my own department that I need to have into my system as a project.
Good. Anything that you would like to add about OKR and GTD? I think we are nearing the end here now.
No, not for now. If anybody want to get in touch with me to learn more about it, you could please contact me on LinkedIn. So I know Morten will share my LinkedIn link.
Yes, it will be in the show notes, and there will also be a link to the GEODATA.no blog where you have written about this, and we will also there in the show notes also link to the book, Measure What Matter. And thank you so much for attending, be part of this. I hope that people will enjoy this and understand a little bit more. I have certainly understood it better now than I did before. I'm not a matter expert, but I understand what it is now, which is a huge improvement for me.
Thank you for asking me to join you and tell about it. I really like to share my knowledge with others. So.
Yeah. And I know you do, and thank you for attending. And I'm sure that because GeoData is growing, so maybe you will need to hire some programmers. So follow him on LinkedIn. I'm sure he will post some job openings soon.
Yes, we have some openings for developers. So are you a developer looking for a job? Please contact me.
Okay, good. I'm sure you will have a couple of people getting to you. So thank you so much for being part of this, Jørn Arild, and have a great day and a great summer continued, and a great fall, autumn when that comes. Take care.
Thank you, Morten. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Did you take anything away from that?
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting topic to learn more about, and it's an interesting thing to when you look forward. I really appreciate the different frameworks and how you look forward, how to divide it. I come across this sometimes in my GTD practice as well with others, how they have the intersection between how they work and intersects with GTD. So great to hear from Jørn on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope that you, the listener, enjoyed the episode and that you learned something new. And Lars, will you take us out?
Certainly. As always, we wrap up the episodes with a quick reminder for you to head on over to vitallearning.eu and have a look around, because on that site you will see all the different offerings that we have today, and you'll find links to each of the country websites for each of the Nordic countries. You'll find ways to book meetings with us if that's what you're looking for. So head on over there, have a look around. Outside the Nordics, if you're focused on getting things done, then gettingthingsdone.com is the place to go to find your local partners as well. And as always, we really hope that you find these episodes valuable. If GTD has made a difference in your life, please help us spread the message to more people by giving it a rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. It really helps people discover and learn GTD, which is why we are here.
Exactly. So until next time, dear listener, stay safe and stay productive. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hi and welcome to another episode of the Getting Things podcast from Vital Learning. I'm Morten and I'm here as always with my good...
Du mangler getting things done. Det bliver bare til getting things eller getting done.
I have the privilege of interviewing a Norwegian guy called Jørn Arild Andersen. Not Andersen, Jørn Arild Andenæs. There you go.